السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا مرحبا. Welcome to this video, guys. Hope you guys having a wonderful time, enjoying yourselves. Right, so my name is Yaqut Zaman, and this is a live Q&A that we have on Saturdays. If you're watching it, obviously recorded, then you're not live, but this is normally live on Saturdays. I try to answer any questions that you guys might have. Just put this lighting bit up so you guys can see. Yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think without the lights like this? Yeah, that's a bit more dramatic, doesn't it? Yeah, nice. Dramatic kind of scene. Or do you guys think with the light? What do you guys think? With the light or without the light? Bit dramatic. Anyway, so my name is Yaqut Zaman. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time enjoying yourselves on this nice Saturday. And as you guys know, on Saturdays we have a question and answers where I try to answer some of your questions that you guys put up. You guys can put the questions. You can put the questions here on the screen, or you can actually have the questions sent to the Curious Cat. Right, so Curious Cat should be in the description below. Should be a link to the Curious Cat. Right, so hello there, Angela Smith. I hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying yourself in the United States of America. I heard it's a bit cold over there in some parts. Hope you're not in the cold part. Darshan, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Zed Melor, wa alaikum assalam. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And AP, wa alaikum assalam. Wanted to ask, is there a certain weight of silver men are permitted to wear for their wedding ring? So the Hanafis generally, they say about 4 grams, just over 4 grams, about 4.2 grams. That's the kind of weight of silver. With the lights, please. Lights here, you like the lights? You want the... Actually, you know what? I think I should. What I should do is I should actually move this bit up. Yeah, so I can slightly adjust this. Yeah, so I can get... That's it, better. That's a better light there now. All right, so snowed last night. Ahlan wa sahlan. Alhamdulillah, shukr that I'm not in the snow. I'm not in the place where there's snow. Assalamu alaikum, Mullah. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you are in the best of health and iman. I am very good. Thank you very much. I am with my orange tea. This is my orange tea, Turkish orange tea. Yeah, mashallah. What's the Hanafi position on sacrificing aqiqah meat? You mean sacrificing the animal, you mean, yeah? I was reading that statement of Sayyid Aisha abrogated it. Yeah, so according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah says that one opinion of his is makruh and one opinion that is permissible. That's it. And opinion of Imam Abu Yusuf says that it's actually considered recommended. Yeah, it's recommended to. So it's not necessary to do at all. Or it's not even sunnah mu'akkada to do. How should a non-Arab revert who is unfamiliar with Arabic perform janazah salat? So he can do it in English. Yeah, as long as he does the takbir. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. As long as he does the 4 takbirs, that's sufficient. Will you continue to upload how to learn Quran video? Yes, I do it every Monday, my brother, Muhammad Naeem. So if you watch every Mondays I am putting up a new episode, alhamdulillah. Are you watching them, Muhammad Naeem? Are you following the series? What does hadith dua is worship mean? Do we get reward for making du'as? Yeah, so dua being worship means that basically the essence of dua, meaning dua is considered to be the essence of worship. As in the dua, when you're asking from Allah, this is what it all means to be a servant of Allah. You recognize Allah. You ask from Allah. You only ask from someone who you obviously know they can give you. So a true Muslim is the one that knows Allah is the only one that can give things that are obviously beyond human capability. Yeah, so that's what it means, essence of dua. And once a person masters dua, once a person recognizes what dua is and then that literally that person has understood Allah, has understood not Allah, has understood the concept of being a servant of Allah. Many Muslims have a specific method of using their finger in order to calculate how much dhikr they have done. They seem to believe it is sunnah to count the. Does the Hanafi madhab consider? No, Hanafi madhab doesn't have a specific method. I mean, we don't know exactly how the Prophet ﷺ did it, but whatever method you use, to count is fine. It's in the south, which doesn't snow very often. I love the fresh air after the snow. Yeah, I can imagine. Nice, cool, quiet as well. How should we understand the term forbidding evil, which is mentioned in the Quran when witnessing another person's sin? So, the original forbidding evil is actually the job of the government. That's the job of the government. So, to have a police force, to have policies in place that stop people from openly committing crimes and hurting other people. How a Muslim should do it is clearly, if a Muslim has the capability of stopping something, they should stop it. Otherwise, they are not bound to stop something. And if there's something wrong in the community, they should speak up. Is it to have a reaction as opposed to just brush off situation? If a reaction is necessary, no, you don't have to have a specific reaction for it, unless it's something which you are a person that can clearly change it. In Russia and Ukraine, if you're Muslim, which side? I have no idea. Ask the people in Russia. Why are we born into Islam and others are not? So being born into Islam does not mean that a person will die in Islam. The point is, what faith will you die on? That's what the whole point. So someone could be born in Islam and they might even die on kufr. And someone could be born on Islam, born without Islam, and they might die, and they might even die in a state that Allah will treat them as a believer. So it all depends on situation. So just because you're born in a Muslim family and you die in a Muslim graveyard does not necessarily mean on the Day of Judgment that Allah will treat you as a believer. There could be lots of people who commit acts of kufr, leave the fold of Islam. May Allah save us. Does Salatul Istikhara need to be performed more than once for no? My brother Mullah, if you want to do something, you do the Istikhara, 2 rakats, do Istikhara, and go for whatever you want to do. As long as you're happy with it. Yes, as long as before you do the Istikhara, you are happy that this thing, Istikhara is not there to tell you which one to choose. No, that's not Istikhara. That's just some thing people made up. Istikhara is basically where you're happy with that thing and then you just go for it. Yeah, so that's what Istikhara is. Yeah, Allah. God knows best. Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim have recorded the hadith in which Rasulullah said, when the end of times draw near, the dream of the believer. The dream of the believer is one for how should we student, you seem to be like a Rona Hakim, you do. You're not Rona Hakim, are you undercover? Asking all these questions. How should the hadith be understood? So hadith, we don't know when the end of times is. And are you asking about near the end of times there will be dreams, or are you asking the question of how a dream is 146th of Nabuwah? Is that what you're asking? Which part are you asking? What are the requirements for a proper shahada? The requirements of a proper shahada, what are you talking about shahada? As in, are you talking about accepting Islam? Or are you talking about shahada as in like a witnessing? Or are you talking about tashahud, shahada? Is there a need to read Arabic stories for kids if you can learn hadith, Quran with their meaning from a teacher? The problem is, a lot of people ask me this question. If I'm learning Arabic, can I just start learning from the Quran and Hadith? The problem is that the style of the Quran and Hadith Arabic is very, very advanced. It's like someone learning English, but then saying, I only want to learn English from Shakespeare, or I only want to learn English from really, old English. It's not really a good way. It's like you got 10 steps and you want to, instead of going up each step, you want to take a big leap and jump onto step number 8 and number 9. So that's why it's not really the best thing to do if you want to understand the Arabic. To understand the Quran and Hadith, you have to understand Arabic that was there at that time. Yeah. But if you want to understand Arabic generally, then starting with kids' books is very good. Yeah, Allah. All right, let's check out some curious cat questions. Let's see. Curious cat people have been asking. Okay, let's see. Okay, so question okay, does accidentally reading something invalidate prayer? Not necessarily. Necessarily. All right. If a person wants to make hijrah to a Muslim country, can he violate visa requirements if he causes no harm to the populace? For example, he does not. No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is doing a job in a bank halal or haram? Salam. It all depends on the nature of the job description. More information will be needed about the job. Okay, some urine, a few splashes went onto someone's trousers, but they were unable to change them. Okay. Okay, in that case, you should ignore. Sound like someone's got waswasa. Ignore it and change it later when you get home. To ignore it, pray. Right. How much would Al Hidayah Darul Fayha cost in the UK? Actually, let me just Google this one. I'm not sure about this. I think I think about £50 or so. Zakaria bookstores, I think should have it. Yeah, Zakaria bookstores. Here's a link. So, yeah, so link. Right, that's done. There you go. All the curious cat questions have been done. Excellent. Right, let's go back to this then. So, when you're ready to accept Islam, you must say the Shahada like I did. So I'm asking, like, what are the requirements for valid Shahada? As long as you know what you're saying, that's the main thing. As long as you know what you're saying and you say it, that's fine. Is forbidding evil the role of the government? Then it's not necessary. Yeah, so the main forbidding evil is the role of the government, because forbidding evil can only be done if a person has the power to enforce it. The average person is not expected to have the power to enforce it. So a lot of people will say nahi anil munkar, and they think every Muslim is like, should be like a vigilante and should go around and, like, Batman and changing things. No, that's not true. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, if a person is able to change something with their hands, they change it. If they can't, they speak up against it, and otherwise they know in their heart to be wrong. Then is it not necessary in a non-Muslim country to forbid evil unless someone is under your responsibility and committing sin? Like, for example, the same thing in the non-Muslim country, like someone going over the speed limit. You don't have any right, as in you can't do anything to say to someone, slow down. You can say to them, but you have no power to enforce it. Someone driving with a phone in their hands, you can say to them, put your phone down, but you can't enforce it. So the enforcement of Nahi and Munkar is not in the hands of the Muslim, right? And obviously, this doesn't mean that Muslims should stay silent when bad things are happening, but they should use hikmah as well, wisdom of how to do it. So if you see someone else committing sin, and you have the power to be able to, if you can tell them to, and you know they listen to you, then it's good, you should tell them. But if you know they're not going to listen to you, and they will clearly, maybe insult you or humiliate, then you shouldn't. Then you carry on with your own thing, because the outcome is worse than what you're going to do. Can you explain what makes Hidayah unique from other fiqh books? Hidayah makes, it's not really a kind of unique book. I wouldn't say it's a unique book, but it's a good book to study because it's very short. Right? The text is quite short compared to other texts, and it kind of gives you like a good way of creating tafaqquh inside yourself. Those are two things. So it's brevity, and its ability to kind of make you tafaqquh, create tafaqquh. Inshallah, when we go to Jannah, there will be more chapters to the Quran. Allah knows. I don't know where you gained that from, bro. But we don't believe in that. Is Jubba Sunnat, meaning the Prophet ﷺ wore it and will be rewarded for it? Not necessarily rewarded for it, but yes, the Prophet ﷺ wore it, of course. But he wore mostly the ihram garment. Also, what conditions is required to met for something to be regarded as sunnah? So when you say sunnah, do you mean, because Hanafis say sunnah and they mean it's rewarded to do it. They only use the word sunnah for something that is highly emphasized by the Prophet ﷺ, and it was done by a lot of the Sahaba. That's what they call sunnah mu'akkada. Otherwise, they don't call it sunnah mu'akkada. It's less than that. For something to be considered sunnah mu'akkada, according to Hanafis, it has to be tariqa masluka fi din min ghayr luzum, a practice in the religion which is widespread amongst the early generation, and it was seen as part of Islam, but not necessary. So, like praying the 2 rakats before Fajr, those kind of things. Rona Hakim, wa alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan, hope as well. Could you explain what gossiping and backbiting exactly mean in Islam? Gossiping means when a person goes around talking about things that they're not supposed to be talking about, like, saying things about people or other things. And backbiting is specifically so gossiping can be backbiting. Backbiting is specifically when you say about someone else something which they don't like. Yeah. So, for example, if you said Zayd's got a big mouth, or Zayd, he's got a big nose, something like that would be backbiting. Sharif Will, alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahla wa sahla, my brother from New Jersey. I hope you're well. Alaikum assalam. Is waking up with semen but not remembering if it came through the sexual fantasy. Is ghusl still mandatory? Yes, then you have to do ghusl. I have been confused on whether drawing a leader or painting a leader is acceptable. There's a difference of opinion, my sister, about this. So there are some scholars who say it's permissible, and there are others who say it's impermissible. Yeah. I am on the opinion that it would be impermissible to draw. Is there a baby and is there a baby and we don't know if place has a trace of, if there's a baby trace of urine, will that invalidate our salat? If there is a baby and we don't know if a place has trace of urine, yeah, then you're fine. As long as you don't know it's there, it's fine. Is knowing Sharia law before becoming a lawyer recommended? It depends where you are in the world. Every person should basically know enough of the Islamic law that will help them obey Allah in the job that they're doing. So if a doctor should know the laws that are related to his field that he's going to face, a lawyer should know those. According to the Hanafi madhab, would a Muslim restaurant owner whose restaurant does not sell alcohol be permitted or not permitted to have a policy which allows non-Muslim diners to bring their own alcohol beverages? I mean, if a person has a restaurant, and they should obviously tell the people that alcohol is not permitted here on these premises. They have the right in this country to say that. And I would say this is what the Muslims should do, because we have the responsibility of showing that we disagree with this particular drink. And I worked in a restaurant in the past before I was practicing, and I saw people drink alcohol and I saw them get drunk and they become very rowdy. If a person was to have a restaurant and people did come in with alcohol, then that person wouldn't necessarily be sinful for that. If I'm listening to music and burp, should I pause the music? Astaghfirullah. Why listen to music for? First of all, you shouldn't be listening to music. Yeah, you shouldn't be listening to music at all. Why is wearing gold prohibited for men in Islam? Because the Prophet ﷺ said so. Assalamu alaikum, Yusuf Dawood, ahlan wa sahlan. When is the best day to give zakat? You have to, there's no best day, my brother. There is a day when your zakat starts. That's when you have to give it. So you need to work out. Watch my crash course on zakat video. Do you have any tips for us to prepare for Ramadan? Yes. From now, cut down on social media. Cut down, stop your sinning. Start to read Quran every day. Start to go to the masjid regularly. Yeah, and start fasting from now. So start fasting Mondays, Thursdays, so you get into the habit of it. Can I talk to my friends about a girl I like? I mean, obviously, if it's halal kind of conversation, then yeah. If it's haram conversation, then no. If they're talking about her body parts and things like that, then no. Is the hadith on lying on your front on for only forbidden sleeping or even lying down? So this is sleeping when you sleep. Yeah, it's best not to do. So not according to the Hanafis, it won't necessarily be sinful, but it's something which should not be done. unless there's a need for it. So there's a need for it, like a medical need, or you've got some problem where you can't lie on your back, then it's okay. What are examples of when backbiting is permissible? Yeah, so it's allowed only when speaking about them is needed. So, for example, like you have to tell the police someone did this, or someone asked you about a particular proposal, and you say, you know, you have to tell the facts about them. Student, if a Muslim has been imprisoned for a crime and it has been reported to the media, would it be permissible to discuss this merely for the sake? Yes, it would be allowed. When did you start practicing and why? I started about the age of 17. Yeah, about 17. I started because I don't know. I just started going college. I started seeing, practicing people there for the first time, and then I think it usually happens with a lot of people in college. They start practicing. Do we have to follow a school of thought or progressive Muslims who are against the Taqlid lesser Muslims? Uh, so do we have to follow a school of thought? So I've done a whole video on the history of madhabs. You can watch that, my brother Azhar. So the whole point of a school of thought is so that you don't mess around with the Sharia. That's the whole point. So it's like this is like someone who's not a doctor. It's very wrong for someone who's not a doctor to mess around with medication. Yeah, it's harmful to their health. Yeah, and the risk that they're going to pose themselves. So the same thing happens with if a person doesn't follow the instructions of a particular scholar, then that means that that person is going to obviously come out with their own rulings online, Google search. That is dangerous. That is. So this is why if a person is going to be doing that, ultimately they are not following the Sharia. They're following their own desire, their own way of research, which is wrong. And so someone who does this deliberately, of course, this person will be sinful for doing such a thing. Are they lesser Muslim? No, you can't say they're lesser Muslim. Everyone's a Muslim is equal. But are they will they be sinful? Most likely, yes. Yeah, a person who follows their own way of understanding Islam without having any sort of like qualifications, of course. Is the hand cut zabiha argument the strongest opinion? I don't know what you mean. The Jews and Christians generally do not slaughter animals with Allah's name, so why is it still permissible to eat their meat? So only Jews and Christian meat we can only eat if they slaughter the animal. There's an ikhtilaf between the Hanafis and between others of whether the name of Allah has to be mentioned or not by them. Like if I'm in the gym and music is playing and I burp, oh, then it's okay. In that situation, you're not listening to music, and so say the question properly, Abdullah. Don't stop making the question out as though you're listening to music with earphones. According to the Hanafi madhab, when wearing gloves, is putting the right glove on before? No. So remember, according to Hanafis, first of all, something can only be considered to be sunnah if it was considered to be widespread amongst the Sahaba. Yeah, it was something that was done by the Prophet ﷺ, emphasized by him, and widespread amongst them. If it was not, they don't call it sunnah muakkada. Shaitan will try to distract us when we pray, e.g., you remember things. Does Shaitan have knowledge of what is in our lives? No, Shaitan doesn't have. Shaitan's a creature. Shaitan is obviously not Allah. So everything that's not Allah has to receive information bit by bit. So look, Shaitan making you remember things is not that he kind of like, how does the brain work? We don't know how the brain works. It could be like this. The brain, he has a way of triggering part of the brain that's related to memories. He knows how to trigger that part of the brain. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's just like certain movies or certain songs. They know how to trigger memories. Okay, it's still saying starting shortly. Allahu Akbar, I gotta get rid of that. Jazakallah khair. Belmino, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, may Allah give you the best for Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, my brother Belminho. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name properly. Rona, I know a person who told me that he woke with semen but not from sexual fantasy. He already performed his prayers. According to Hanafis, he'll have to do his ghusl again. So do I do wudu in the bathroom and there I begin, I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Should I say before I enter? So if your bathroom is a clean place where there's no filth or urine lying around, then you can say it inside. Yeah, but if your bathroom is a filthy place where there's urine and filth irregularly lying around, then no, you say it before you enter. Sharif Will, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam. In news reports is being stated that Muslims from Syria and Chechnya are aiding the Russian. True or false? I have no idea. If the news says so, then the news says so. But as far as fiqh is permissible under any circumstance, I mean, the thing that we have to understand, look, politics, we don't know what happens in politics. We are basically just sitting on our sofas, watching what they want us to see, and then we come up with our own theories about conspiracies about or ideas about politics, which is obviously wrong. Is a Muslim allowed to support? Possibly. Yeah, possibly, depending on the situation. Yeah, because in the past, Muslims had support from other people as well. So there could be possibility of this. Apologies, no problem. No problem about that. Is running whilst listening to the Quran in your ear rewarding? Listening to the Quran is always rewarding, whether you're running or whether you're sitting. MashaAllah, Bima, Jazakumullah khair for your kind donation towards the channel. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. MashaAllah. Hope you're well. Kita be, kita khabar. Kita khoros. Do we have to renew our wudu after breaking wind? And guys, if you haven't checked out Beamer Bay's channel, check it out. Some good stuff on there. Some funny stuff, yeah. Some good kind of reviews he does and checking out food places in London. Do we have to renew our wudu after breaking wind? No, you don't. Unless you're going to pray salat, then you need to renew it. When a non-Arab revert who is unfamiliar with Arabic performs salat behind an imam, is it still permissible for the Arab to follow instructions from a piece of paper? Yes, for him, it will be permissible. If a person takes a shower but doesn't wash his head, is the ghusl valid? No, he has to wash his head. Great analogy, but is there a possibility that the likes of 4 great Sunni Imams, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Muslim, Hanbal, Shafi, Malik, may appear in our present era? Not at that level of knowledge, no. Because the reason is because, like, for example, like the knowledge that they had access to has died out. Lots of that knowledge has died out now. So it hasn't been preserved except for what they preserved. Yeah, except for what they preserved. That's the issue. So I've talked about this in my history. So Muhammad Azhar, check out my video on history of the madhabs. Let me just it's 3-part video. And actually talk about this issue of how the knowledge of the past sort of like is affected. Yeah, because the knowledge of the past, people had access. Like, for example, if there was a Sahabi living in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he had loads of access to loads of information. But then when he died, a lot of the information disappeared with him. Is protesting, bro, you asked this question before. Meant Allahu alim if it is true or false. Oh, okay, I see. Is a Rayan a good alternative? I have no idea. Yeah, because I don't work for Rayan. I don't keep up with their policies. But from what I remember many years ago, when I spoke to someone about it, they said Al Rayan is a good option. So the person would have to redo his Fajr, Zohar, and Asr because he did not perform ghusl. That's right. Went to Sheikh Yasser Qadi's Sira course in Bradford today. Very beneficial, packed out. Alhamdulillah. Oh, he's come to UK, has he? Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I remember I met him a few times in the UK. A few times I met him in the UK. Sat with him, talked to him. MashaAllah. He's a good kind of guy to have conversations with. Good kind of like down-to-earth kind of guy. Ya Allah. Wa alaikum assalam. Loyal follower. Ahlan wa sahlan. What did Rasulullah mean when he said every servant will be resurrected upon the way that he died? Basically, what the commentators of the hadith say is that every person, whatever state they died in, so if you died in the state of Iman, you will be resurrected in the state of Iman. If you died in the state of Kufr, you will be resurrected in the state of Kufr. If you died doing some sort of a good act, good deed, you'll be resurrected doing that good deed. If you die doing a bad act, you're going to be resurrected doing that bad act. Yeah, so it's like the idea is be careful of what you're doing because you never know when death could come. Like we could be sitting here now and death could come to us and we'll be resurrected in this state. And a person might be robbing a bank and he dies robbing a bank and he's resurrected in that state of what time bracket is the correct time bracket to pray tahajjud? So tahajjud can be prayed anywhere from after Isha, you pray your Isha, after your Isha, all the way till Fajr, you can pray tahajjud. However, the best time to pray is the last third of the night. So you get Maghrib and you get Fajr and you divide into three parts. The last third, that's the best part. And then in that last third, the last portion just before Fajr. Yeah, the last portion, the last, you can say half of the third. That's the best part. Uh, right. Do you have plans of doing a podcast with another scholar? You mean the Arabic podcast we do on Fridays? Is that one? Why is tea type tonight? Tea type tonight is orange. Orange tea tonight. Orange, mashallah. Mashallah. Nice. Look at that. Beautiful color there. Yeah. Beautiful color. Yeah, so that's basically why is yawning associated with shaitan when we yawn from tiredness? Yeah, so what we have to understand is sometimes, like the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned things like this is from shaitan, that's from shaitan. So some of these hadith can mean that literally this is from shaitan, as in this is something shaitan does. And another types of hadith that we have where when the Prophet ﷺ, this is from shaitan, could mean this is something which is like something you associate with shaitan. It's a demonic kind of thing. So what does that mean then? So for example, like once the Prophet ﷺ, he saw a man chasing after pigeons and he said, this is a shaitan following a shaitan. As in, look what kind of thing he's doing. He's just wasting his time doing this little thing that's stopping him from doing things that are better for him. And then, sometimes the Prophet ﷺ said the bells are from the shaitan. Yeah. And sometimes the Prophet ﷺ might say, this particular act is from shaitan. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is shaitan, but it can have, like, shaitan might have a domino effect on this action. Yeah. So for example, like, yawning, because when you yawn, what happens? Your mouth opens, and then you make a big noise and it distracts people. And those are kind of things. One day he saw a man that was yawning and the man was making noise. And he got angry at him and said, look, what's this? You're in a gathering. You should cover your mouth. So sometimes that's what shaitan does. Shaitan might be involved directly, or even like it's a shaitanic kind of thing that you associate. Right, next. What should a person do if their parents criticize him? Take it, bro. You gotta take it. One more thing that bothered me, that if we know that Islam is haqq, then why it is that I don't stop doing a sin and leaving bad habits? Well, that's it. You've answered your question, because you're the one that doesn't want to follow the haqq. So if a person knows Islam is haqq, the reason why a Muslim would drink alcohol is because he knows Islam is true, but he just knows he's weak. Yeah, he knows his weakness. He's got bad habits, bad addictions. Yeah, and lots of people, unfortunately, Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, they knew the Prophet ﷺ was a true person and would never lie, but still they rejected him. My hair is getting long like yours, alhamdulillah. Do I need to untie it for salat? Yeah, it's best to have it untied for salat. That's what the Hanafi say. It's best to have it untied for salat. Can you describe music? Where is found sin to listen to music? Is vibration music? So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about like musical instruments, wind instruments, string instrument generally, those are considered to be things which are associated to, like other problematic things. So the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about gambling. The Prophet mentioned about people lewd behavior. So for example, if you look at a lot of music of today's times, it's usually associated to lewd behavior. Words which are vulgar words. Look at these top sort of musicians and singers. Yeah, that's what they say. As for things which are like kind of like just musical tones that you find naturally in nature, those wouldn't be a problem. Is wearing pure orange sinful? No. Then I do tawbah, again I break it, then I do tawbah, then I was being tempted to repeat the same sins. Yeah, so the same answer, my brother. Can't find a hadith in Arabic which states that the agony of death is equivalent to being struck 300 times. Yeah, I've read it in a book and it says it's authentic online. What do you think? I haven't come across it, so I can't comment really. Is listening to someone playing a flute sinful? Yes. If you take so this view of music, this is a big topic. I've discussed it before, where the scholars have discussed this kind of issue. I would say it's best to stay away from these kind of things. Directly listen to music to enjoy the music is something you should avoid. Apologies if I'm asking a dumb question. I'm always reminded that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owns the heavens and the earth. Does he also own hell? Of course, he owns everything. Allah owns every single thing. He owns hell, he owns Jannah. He's created it, hell. As the Khaliq of Jahannam. He created it. Do you think you will do a series on the signs of the Day of Judgment? Possibly not. No. I know a lot of people love these kind of signs of the Day of Judgment. I guarantee you, if I do a series on Imam Mahdi, or if I do a series on Dajjal, or if I do a series on, I've actually got a talk on Dajjal on my YouTube channel. Or if I do a series on the signs of judgment, I'll get loads of views. But that's not what my channel is really about. My channel is about education. Education to do with the most important things, like, for example, learning Quran, learning Hadith, learning fiqh, learning the Arabic language, those kind of things I like focusing on. Can you recommend any well-respected books on the topic of death? Yes. There's actually a book by Imam Qurtubi. I don't know. I think it's been translated into English. It's called At-Tadhkira. At-Tadhkira. Yeah, Tazkirah by Imam Qurtubi. He has a book, and it's got a lot of these kind of like incidents of the afterlife and what's going to happen, so forth. So it's a good book. Would you do a one-off video on Ya'juj Ma'juj? I don't think so. I mean, I might do a talk and then upload it, but I don't think I'll just do it for the sake of just because I don't think that is something which at the moment I need to prioritize. I've got so many other things that I need to do for my YouTube channel, which are on a big list. So, and I know, brother, a lot of people love listening to Ya'juj Ma'juj, and there's so many people have talked about it. I don't understand. The strange thing to me is there are so many people have discussed Ya'juj Ma'juj. The amount of information about Ya'juj Ma'juj is limited, isn't it? Yeah, there's a limited number of hadith about Ya'juj Ma'juj and ayats. And so many scholars have discussed it thoroughly. And I don't see why I need to discuss it again. Yeah, so I think, would rather teach something which is more sort of like practical for your day-to-day life. Can you recommend, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, what is the more preferred method to perform witr before tahajjud or after? According to the Hanafis, any, but it's more preferred if the witr is the last thing that you do. So therefore, in that case, after. Is it true that if a mother has a miscarriage, then that baby is umbilical? You mean not biblical? Not biblical cord. Umbilical cord. On the Day of Judgment will save her on the Day of Judgment, even if she was destined for hell. I don't know. Allah knows best. Ya Allah. Right. All the questions have been answered. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to answer. Darulum will cost about. Ya Allah. Is Dajjal a Shaytan, a single entity? Dajjal is a creation of Allah. Dajjal is a person who will come. We don't really know much information more than that. Inshallah, Amra Shob Ramadan Fausmo Shoba Afnara Akhon Taki Rosa practice Khoro Ami Dua Khore Shobor Lagi. Ameen. Inshallah. What colors can be used? What colors can be used to dye the hair, and colors that cannot be used? Any color can be used to dye the hair, except for black, because there's a specific narration about black. As long as any color, as long as it's not something which is going to make you stick out in front of people, it's not going to be something deliberately you're doing to stick out. Women that dye their hair blonde, is that sinful? No, it's not sinful. Ya Allah. Do a series on Shaytan on is not MI5, MI6, CIA. Trust me, I get loads of hits. I was thinking, should I do like a series on Russia and Ukraine from Islam's point of view? And I know 100% that I'll get loads of views. I'll get so many views. People say, "Wow, this must be like an amazing talk, Ukraine and Russia." Yeah. Is there a need to speak Arabic if you read and understand? No need. No need to speak Arabic. No. As long as you read and understand, sufficient. Depends what you want it for. Was working in a restaurant a good experience? It was a good experience in the sense that I made money, and this was before I was practicing. If I had to do it again, I would never work in that kind of environment again, because the problem was working in a restaurant. There was alcohol there, and there was like people used to come in from clubs, and it was like a lot of semi nudity, and it wasn't something which was healthy for a person's iman. So again, I wouldn't work there again. And I mean, I got a lot of experience of talking to people, confidence and stuff like that. So I think those kind of jobs are very useful for people who are introverts, scared of like speaking to people, speaking to new people all the time. I think for them, these kind of public communication jobs are very useful. Shaitan is from the jinn. Does that mean they are both similar in looks? Not necessarily. So jinn is a category of creation. We don't know the different types of jinn out there. Like the Quran says, kunna tara'iqa qidada. There's all different forms of jinns, shapes, not like humans. Humans are just like different in colors, and maybe the nose shape is different, face shape is different, hair is different. But jinns are very different. I heard that YouTube money may be haram if you let put the ads. I don't know. I never heard about this. Is it worth traveling to an Arabic country to learn how to speak if you already learned grammar or can person learn online? Yeah, you can learn online. I know lots of people who have learned how to speak Arabic online very, very well. They speak very well. If you watch Ahmad R, if you watch our podcast, Friday podcast, a lot of people come on there who actually live in non-Muslim countries but have learnt very good Arabic speaking skills. Saqib, ahlan wa sahlan, my brother Saqib, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Why do people care about caste so much when it comes to marriage? It's good point. Definitely a good point. I don't know, no idea. Cultural thing, I guess. Anyone know? Anyone know the answer to this? Stunned chicken like Nando's and KFC chickens stunned before slaughter permissible to eat as the animal sometimes dies before. So I've actually got a friend who actually owns a slaughterhouse. He's a Maulana, and he told me about stunning, and he told me that there's different grades of stunning. And normally the stunning they do is a very light stunning. It's not lethal stunning. It's basically just a water bath that has a current flowing through it, and they stun the chicken with that. As for like a goat is stunned electrically, it fries the brain. Yeah. So the chicken one is not lethal at all. Right? Chicken will not die from that. It just like stuns that, like when you get a little bit of a little shock, and just for a little while you just feel disorientated. It just disorientates the chicken. So I think a lot of people, they don't know how slaughterhouses work. What I would suggest, Bima, you know what to do? Go yourself to a slaughterhouse. Yeah, record. Trust me, you're very good. Go to a slaughterhouse. Ask a Muslim slaughterhouse if you can come there, where they do stunning, and just record it. Ask them, can you document this? And you'll benefit a lot. You learn a lot, and you can come back and you can tell us about how it works. Yeah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Can a woman be a witness to a shahada? If yes, how many women? So the Quran says one man and two women. Yeah, so a woman can be a witness, but there has to be two women. So besides the one man and two women. Yeah, Allah. Did you do any other type of job apart from teaching and being a waiter? I mean, like small little jobs, like doing little random jobs for people. That was not like a fixed job. Yeah, I did small little things, but it wasn't anything sort of like anything fixed. So because I was in college, I started working to make some money on the side, and then when I finished college, I decided to go study ilm. Went to Pakistan, studied there. And because I was too busy in studying, I didn't work. Came back. As soon as I came back, got a job teaching, and since then I've been teaching. Good idea. Can you be my witness in case I don't make it? What happens when someone dies? Their body deteriorates. What do you do in your free time, Mufti? I do, like, it depends what you mean by free, isn't it? So when I'm not working, when I'm not at work, I obviously make videos for my YouTube channel. I do a lot of reading. I do some writing as well, my own personal writing, and then I do gardening, cycling, I do badminton, I do what else? Yeah, I'm gonna start running as well. I do exercise, visit family, visit friends, go for meals, do talks here and there. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of things I do, but I don't know how to describe them as being in my free time. Yeah, so I'll get people to asking me, can you do a nikah, please? Can you do nikah? This and that. A lot of times I don't like doing nikahs. I don't like I don't like going around giving talks unless I'm free and I know the people who are asking. Because sometimes what happens is someone asks me to go to a mosque to give a talk, and it just literally there's like two or three people there, and it's like they made no effort to kind of prepare the talk, and it was just about they just want content. Yeah. So I know it sounds a bit insincere, but the thing what you have to remember is like when you take a scholar out of their time, that time can be utilized for something really important. And people just think, oh, I'll just call a scholar to a mosque. He'll give a talk. It doesn't matter if there's two or three people there. It doesn't matter because at least on our list of things that we've done in the year, we've called this scholar. Right? If you're going to do a talk listen to this, guys. If you're going to organize a talk in your mosque, make sure that obviously the people know about it. You're inviting the people. You have active sort of like marketing going on. Um, so a lot of times what happens is, I remember once I went for a talk and no one came up. There's only one person there. And the guy was quite embarrassed as well. And then I said to him, did you do any marketing? He goes, no, I didn't. And I go, what do you expect? I mean, you ask someone to drive all the way from their house to give the talk, 1 hour talk, and then drive back. And it's like that I could have been doing other things, more important things. So this is unfortunately sometimes what happens. Right. Have you ever been to? It's because we are familiar with each other's habits, culture, etc. So it makes easier for two families to get along with each other. Yeah, that's a good point. Do they need to be witnesses if someone embraces Islam? Not necessarily, no. The witnesses are only needed for court cases. So later on, if someone has to prove that they officially accepted Islam, then the court will ask, were there any witnesses when you gave testimony, when you gave Shahada? Speaker's Corner? No, I haven't been Speaker's Corner. Can a person become a Muslim without formally saying Shahada? Technically, yes, because Shahada is between them and Allah. Yeah, because Shahada, accepting Islam is literally tasdeeq according to Imam Abu Hanifa. But for court reasons, they have to utter it. If I spend my time in Ramadan praying qada, is that better than any other ibadah? I can't say if it's better than any other ibadah because we can only say something is better if Allah, the Prophet ﷺ told us it's better. But it's very good, definitely. Do you play games? Yeah, I play badminton. Sometimes I have games night. My friends come down to my house and we play games, different kinds of board games. Yeah, I like that. Assalamu alaikum. Do lions symbolize any particular meaning in a dream? Not yeah. So lions generally are to do with courage, bravery, honor, strength, might, fear as well. Sometimes I do lots of dua. Do I get rewards for making duas? Of course you do. Of course. If a person suffers with a problem where during salat a bit of urine comes out, will the salat invalidate? Yes, it will invalidate. May Allah bless you in this life. Ameen. Jazakallah khair, my brother Muhammad Naeem. If a shower is taken provided the head is washed, is that all needed for ghusl? So, Rona, you need to watch my Kuduri videos. Yeah, so watch my Kuduri videos. I've explained the whole chapter on ghusl over there. 20 plus watching and 9 or so likes. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Oh yeah, this for some reason this has stopped showing on Twitter for some reason. I'm not sure why. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone can see on Twitter or not. Yeah, so is it working on Twitter? Or you can't on Twitter? Yeah, you can't comment on Twitter. Twitter has stopped the comments for this, or this website doesn't work with Twitter comments. So I do apologize if anyone's watching on Twitter. You guys won't be able to comment. Yeah, because I think there was one brother, Muhammad Azim, was asking why his comments are being blocked. They're not being blocked. It's just you just can't comment. No one can comment. So if anyone does want to comment on Twitter, they'll have to come on YouTube or Facebook. Is it possible to name your child Rahim without Abdul? Yes, it's Rahim. Yeah, because Rahim means kind, and the Prophet ﷺ was called Rahim in the Quran. Yeah, Ra'ufun بالمؤمنين رحيم. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Ahla wa sahla, my brother Spend Emery. Hope you're well. I'm very good. Thank you very much for asking. What kind of intention should I have for gym in order to use that time most productive in the eyes of Allah? You tell me. What do you think? You tell me. What do you think? Assalamu alaikum. Ahla wa sahla, Irfan Suhail Saab. How do we distinguish between thoughts and waswasa? So, good question. This is waswasa means something which repeats itself. So something which is playing on your mind non-stop, just keep on coming in your mind and you can't stop it. I would say that would be more waswasa. And waswasa is normally a negative thing. Yeah. So if, for example, like you're praying your salat and you're thinking to yourself, do I have my wuzu? Do I not have my wuzu? Has my wuzu broken? Does this happen? Is this like this? That would be waswasa. Yeah. So it's like this kind of like repetitive negative thoughts. Has Curious Cat stopped working? No, Curious Cat is still working, my brother. Curious Cat is still working. Have you asked a question there? Okay, let's see, brother student. Let's see, have you asked there? No question. So Curious Cat is still working. If anyone wants to ask questions there. Moved house, shower, bath, nothing coming out for a week and a half. Is shower, bath needed for Jummah? No, it's not necessary for Jummah. It's optional. Yeah, it's optional. Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you very much, Angela. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. I hope your art is well as well. The art you're doing. How can we say sorry to animals like we have to kill some animals? I know no one's ever said that to me. How do you say sorry to animals? So it's good that you have this kindness towards animals, mashallah. But it's just do tawbah to Allah. Animals don't have the ability to be able to comprehend like complex concepts that humans can comprehend. My primary thought is to look good, but I feel like spending 2 hours in the gym just to look good. Yeah, so that seems as though, a long time there. I don't know. If you're a student of knowledge, spending 2 hours in the gym, I don't think that's a healthy thing for your ilm. So maybe like cut it down. Maybe like do like 1 hour in the gym or something like that. Can I name my son as Furqan? Yes. Furqan is fine. Furqan means like the one that divides. It's like Ism Mubalagha. Remember we did Ism Mubalagha. So it's the Ism Mubalagha. This is the one that does farq. Like he cuts between the truth and falsehood. Like someone who's a very upright, just person. Right, guys. So I think we've come to the end of our questions. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Right, so today I had a nice cold shower today. Cold shower. Yeah, do you guys like having this plant over here as well? So I had a nice cold shower today, so feeling refreshed. But for some reason, I think it was cold outside early on, windy, and my arthritis starting to play up. So normally get arthritis when it's cold, and today's been a bit cold, windy outside. Okay, so make sure, guys, you check out my videos that I put up. I put up nearly every single day. I put up videos. On Mondays, I put up how to learn how to read the Quran. Tuesdays, I put up videos on hadith or sometimes sarf or maybe some other topic or maybe even sometimes Fawzul Kabir. On Wednesdays, I put up poetry, Arabic poetry, where I go through a text and I explain. And at the moment, we're doing Imam Shafi'i's poetry. And on Thursdays, I do Quduri, Muqtasar Quduri. Fridays, I've been putting up some easy, like intermediate Arabic stories to follow. Saturdays, we have this. And for Fridays, we also have podcast, Arabic podcast. And we also have live. And Saturdays, we have Quran as well. I forgot to put the Quran up today. Inshallah, I'll put it up tomorrow. And Sundays, we have, advanced Arabic. Yeah, so check those out, inshallah. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the videos with them. They're all free of charge videos that I'm making for you guys. I've been having cold showers as well because how's it been, Haider? What do you think? Is it going well? Brother wants to get married but can't find an opportunity. I'm worried that he may go the wrong way, meet someone losing his way due to this. What advice? You know what? I don't know. He wants to get married, yeah. Just try to look for someone for him. Ask your wife or someone if there's any ladies out there that are interested in marriage, and just link them up. Masir Ali, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A book, cold shower, it is snowing here. You know what? Even if it's cold, I would still take a cold shower. Yeah. How is it going? Alhamdulillah, my brother Masir Ali. Is it cold over there as well? New Jersey, yeah? Is it like snowing in New Jersey? Americans, New Jersey. My Ustad has a unique way of doing hadith analysis and sentences. He says it's more related to the way Arabs do it. Ah, okay. Interesting. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair ya sadiqi, ya habibi sharif. They have been really good. Help my body be stronger in the gym. Excellent, excellent. You check out the way he does it and compare. Okay, yeah. Have you got any like link or anything that I can check out? Maryam alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What does it mean when someone says, I've had ijaza of the Quran? So ijaza basically means that, like, we believe that when the Prophet ﷺ, he taught the Quran to the Sahaba taught it to the people after them, and then they taught it to the people after them, and they taught it. So this, what we call a chain of teaching and learning, this is called ijaza. So when you learn something from someone, and then they say to you, right, you've reached a level that I'm happy at the level you've reached. Now you can go and teach it to someone else. That means they've given you permission, ijaza. They've given you permission in being able to go and teach it to someone. It's like a qualification in university. Like once you qualify in university, you get like a degree is called an ijaza. Similar to that. Zed Melo, do the rich receive more rewards of charity than the poor who do not have much to give? So reward is all to do with Allah, and Allah gives everyone reward according to their status. Like there might be a rich person, Elon Musk, and there might be a poor person, and each of them giving charity, but their intentions, the amount they give, their status, how much that spending has affected their life, all of that will be counted for each person individually. So just because Elon Musk gives more, it doesn't mean that he gets more reward than a poor person. Yeah, it could all depend on many factors. Zed, I think you missed my question. Or where was it? Where did you ask? Which one did you? What was your question about? Was it about the Rahim question? I answered the Rahim question. Is there another one? May Allah make it easy for you. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Ahlan wa sahlan. Darshan means a lot, bro. How do you get a reading Arabic without Arabs? So Khadija, you need to do my Quranic Arabic 17 lessons. I guys have a course which is called the Quranic Arabic 17 lessons. It is designed to help you guys read Arabic without the vowels. Yeah, that's what it's designed for. So if you guys are interested in that, then send an email. It's £50 for the entire course, and you can check it out on my uruk.com website. Masir Ali Mufti Liaqat Zaman is greater than Mufti Wim Hof Zaman. All right, Wim Hof. You know what? I want to meet that guy one day. I want to swim in the canals with him. I wanted to enroll your Usul Shashi course and looked for the book and saw one with Sheikh Barakatullah Laknawi's Ta'liqat. Is it an easy one? I don't know. I haven't seen Sheikh Barakatullah's Ta'liqat on it. I haven't seen that. But if it's good, I mean, if you maybe send me some pictures of it, I can look at it. I was wondering if you can put in additional information on Friday's English of what is the topic. Fridays, you mean Friday's live stream or Friday's podcast? Which one? How many qiraat are there? I thought there's 7. Some say there's 10. Yeah, so there are like 10 major qiraat qaris. And then besides the 10, there are more than 10, but they're not like strong. Yeah, strong qiraat. Yeah, so these are the main. There's actually main 7 ones there, and then there's 3 more, and there's some other ones as well. So yeah, so ahruf is a different thing. Ahruf is the way that the Quran was allowed to be recited in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, because there were different tribes and their pronunciation and their utterance of words were different. The Prophet ﷺ gave them permission to read the Quran, pronounce it, certain words, as long as the meaning didn't change in various ways. Sharing a book tonight. Book. Okay, I can share a book. Let me just see which book I can share, my brother. Yeah, I can just maybe see one over there. I could email them, but I need his permission. You know him. He said he talked with you. Okay, I don't know what is his name. And do we have to renew washing the private parts for salah after breaking wind? Um, no, we don't have to wash private parts now. What other projects you are thinking or have planned in the pipeline? So at the moment, because then I started the new two projects, which was the Arabic one, those the story ones, and then Malfluti, renewed that, restarted that. But I'm thinking of maybe doing some like more things on maybe specializing in fiqh. That's one possibly. Maybe on Quran as well. Restarting my Quran, focusing on the words in the Quran. I'm probably thinking about doing one of figures of the Quran, like people who are mentioned in the Quran. Just briefly go through each one about them from the Quran. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more like Quran ones to do. There was some more, but it's just not on the top of my head right now. I need to check in my planner. For zakat, if you have someone else is paying for you, for instance, someone said, I gave zakat for you this year, but it's not from your wealth, is it still valid? As long as you give permission, yes. No, it was regarding traveling. Oh, can you repeat it again? I can't seem to find it. When someone misses a fast and he had no ilm of him having to do kafara for it, he was ignorant. What is the ruling for him? Does he do qada still or give kafara? Misses a fast? No. When a person misses a fast, they don't do kafara, they only do qada. Kafara is only for deliberately breaking a fast. Often when I lead a prayer with a few brothers in my own house, as they say, I have to lead in my house, I often break out in tears. Prayers is very deep for me. What advice can you give? MashaAllah, it's an honor. It's an honor. Go for it. It's good. Yeah. Lead in your house. And if you feel that you're not able to lead, then obviously give it to someone who is able to lead. But MashaAllah, it's very good. And definitely, yes, there were many Sahaba who actually refused to lead prayer. They would put other people forward and they would, what you just said, they would say, it's a big responsibility. I don't have the ability to be able to like answer to Allah on the day of judgment for this. How do you pray during travel, Hanafi madhab? So Khadija, you need to go to my Quduri traveler's prayer. So I have actually mentioned in my Quduri videos about this. So traveler prayers. Right. Do all of the hadith about the benefit of virtue of miswak apply to toothbrush or just specific to twig? So the Hanafi say that the rewards of the miswak are to do with cleaning of the teeth. So therefore, cleaning of the teeth is the most important thing. As for using a twig, that is considered virtuous in and of itself. But the cleaning of the teeth is the most important thing. So whatever tool you use to clean the teeth, you can achieve that virtue. Podcast. Oh, the Arabic podcast. So the Arabic podcast, the thing about those is we don't really have a topic. We just let it flow as it is, off the cuff. Yeah. So we have like different discussions, and it kind of like evolves one topic to another, to another, to another, and eventually, like we've covered many topics in one day. So we can stick to one, but then it doesn't allow for the people to speak Arabic as they want. That's the thing. We did try it. We did think about that, but it kind of makes it difficult to be able to practice and dip into different topics. If a person, what do you prefer? Do you understand Arabic? If a person travels by boat, the miles are different to land. But how about if a person travels by air? Would the ruling by the same as boat as you cover a lot? Yeah. So in other words, that's why the majority of Hanafis say uh, if you kind of, I've actually talked about this in Hidayah. So if you email, you get access to Hidayah lessons, and in there I've talked about in the chapter of Safar about this whole boat issue, traveling by land and sea and all that. But yeah, so that's why traveling by sea and traveling by air is actually measured by the traveling by land. And modern Hanafis say 48 miles, they use that idea. If someone you know doesn't fast because of illness, do they still have to give kafara? So kafara, basically, I think you might not have got this, Sister Khadija, but check my Kuduri videos. I've talked about fasting and kafara. Kafara basically is where you break a fast. You have to give compensation as a sin that you've done. Right. So if someone's ill, there's no compensation for them. They just have to make up the fast later on. Yeah. And if they can't make up the fast later on, they give something called fidya. Something called a fidya. And fidya is basically they feed a poor person so they give a meal to a poor person for every day they miss. I would like to follow along with the reading to help. Alhamdulillah. In what way our knowledge to be questioned? No, wait, no, I don't understand the question. Are you going to travel again? I enjoyed your travels to mosques. Yes, inshallah, I will be traveling. I might be going to Masjid al-Aqsa this Ramadan, and I might be going to visit Pakistan in the summer holidays, inshallah. Do you have to make up all the prayers that you missed after you became baligh because you weren't? Yes. You have to make them up. Right. My question was about women studying ilm. Yes. What is your question about women studying ilm? Is there a specific question you have? Salams, hope you're well. If a woman intends to get married and she is currently studying, can she put this down as a condition? And I mean, she can put it as a condition, but it won't have any impact on the marriage. It won't have any impact on anything, right? It's just a promise the husband is going to fulfill. And if he doesn't fulfill it, then obviously he's going to be sinful for that. But he can't, her putting whatever condition she wants in the contract won't necessarily do anything like to the contract. Does that make sense? So it depends. What I would say is, if you're a woman and you're getting married, you need to really have a talk with the husband and say, look, how serious you are about studying, and how the education is something really important to you, that means a lot to you. Now, I know in the past some husbands have said to their wives, oh yeah, carry on studying, don't worry. And then when they get married, they get locked into a whole routine, and they don't let them study. Unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. What's the most ridiculous animal on earth? I have no idea. That's the most dumbest question I've heard. Right. Okay, Akhi, early start tomorrow, inshallah. See you next week. Jazakallah khair. Ameen, Ameen. Bima, Jazakallah khair for the kind donation. May Allah bless you and Ayan and crew. Abdul Rahman, alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi barakatuh. A long time no see, my brother Abdul Rahman. How's your studies in Pakistan? When breaking a fast deliberately, but no option to fast 2 months consecutively to period of health issues, what do we do? So instead, check my Kuduri videos. I've explained it in there. You have to feed 60 poor people for each fast you broke. If an elderly grandparent who can usually fast in Ramadan falls ill for a few days and is unable to fast during those days, will they have to make up those fasts later on? Later on, yeah, they have to make up those fasts. And if they can't make up those fasts for the rest of their life, then they give fidya, which is what I just mentioned earlier. There's a lot of confusion on naming a child with the name of Allah. Should you use Abdul in front or not? It depends which name of Allah is. So like the question you asked earlier on about the Rahim one, and I said to you, you're allowed to name a child Rahim. Yeah, so is Rahim is permissible. You don't have to say Abdul before it. And even Majid, you can say Majid, Abdul Majid. Rahman, you cannot name a child. You cannot change these two names. You cannot choose for. Yeah, you cannot select it for the child without Abd before it. I mean, will fidya suffice for them, not kafara? Oh, yeah. So if they can fast, if they can make up the fast, they have to make it up. Otherwise, they can give fidya. Ibn Adam, and so far, by the way, guys, I'm going to be doing a course on zakat and fasting in 2 weeks' time on Saturday. So the 26th of March, I'll be delivering at Sofa a course for zakat and fasting. So make sure you check that out if you guys are interested. Ibn Adam, alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, Sharif, assalamu alaikum. If a parent is on their deathbed and say kalima before actual death, are they Muslim? Inshallah. Inshallah, why not? Difference between talaq, raj'i and bain. So talaq raj'i is basically where a man gives his wife a divorce and uses the word divorce in there, talaq in there. And if he doesn't use the word divorce in there but uses any other expression to mean divorce, then it's bine. Apart from three words, istabra'i rahimaki, anti wahida, and istabra'i rahimaki, i'taddi. Yeah, these are three. Will you be continuing with your videos on book reviews? Oh yeah, totally forgot about those. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. Make a note of that. Some courses I totally forget about. So continue book reviews videos. Yeah, thanks for reminding me that one. Totally forgot about that one. Z Melor, for example, I have tajweed knowledge, but I don't have anyone to teach. Will that knowledge be questioned for on the day? Like, what do you mean question? I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Did you talk about question as in, did you act upon it? Alhamdulillah, first year done. Come back to the UK for holidays. We'll be back at it after Eid. Please remember dua. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, excellent. Good to see. Good to see you. You've completed the first year. How was it? How did you find the first year? Was it what you expected? Was it tougher? Was it easier? Nahid, Musa, hope you're well, inshallah. You didn't send the link for the stand. Oh yeah. Totally forgot, Okay, let me just make a note of it and then I'll definitely send. Let me make a note. Send for the stand. Inshallah. I've made a note now. And I'll write your name next to it as well. Nahid. Mu'een, ahla wa sahla, wa alaikum assalam. Making up qaza prayers in the third and fourth rakats, Surah Fatiha can be skipped. If so, how long is qiyam in this? I don't understand. Making up qaza prayers in the third, qaza prayers, yeah. In the third and fourth rakat, Surah Fatiha can be skipped. Yeah, going to Hanafis. If so, how long is the qiyam? Qiyam should be for 3 subhanallahs. Yeah, for the duration of 3 subhanallahs. NS, wa alaikum assalam. Is there any classical book or hadith collection on the rights of Muslims on each other? I don't know if there's a specific book. There must be a specific book written in the past. I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, generally in the books of hadith, they do have hukuk, haqq al-Muslim or hukuk al-Muslim. Yeah, they'll have like sections or maybe hadith in those book collections. But I don't know if there's a specific book dedicated to that. There might be some scholar out there who has written something. If anyone knows, put in the comments. That's important, as some people just name their child Rahman without saying Abdul in front of it. Yeah, that's not allowed. Zainab, Ustad, can you recommend any good Arabic books on usul fiqh and books for studying ifta? So usul fiqh, I've got on my uruk.com. I've got 3 courses on usul fiqh. Beginners is 28 lessons, which is I personally think is very good. Yeah, a lot of people have done it, alhamdulillah. And then after that, you do a second course, which is usul shashi, and then a third course is Nur al-Anwar al-Qande. Those are 3 courses. If you do those, you'll have a very good understanding of usul. Yeah, it's on my uruk.com. And they're paid courses. That's the thing. But inshallah, if you send an email in and if you want to do all 3, then you might get a discount. Alaikum assalam, Haidar Ali. Muhammad Zahir, alaikum assalam. Recently, I have fallen into an unhealthy cycle of overthinking and have been feeling very anxious, worrying about the future matters that are out of my control. What is the best? Yeah, this is something that happens a lot, especially with COVID. And I personally get this sometimes as well. I mean, what the best thing is to do, I'll give you the things that I do to overcome this. Do not watch the news. Do not even look at reports on social media, what's happening in Russia and Ukraine about price rises, right? And looking at COVID rates and all that. Don't look at all that. If you're going to go on Facebook, if you're going to go on these things and you're going to see this news day in day, it's not healthy for your mind. Cut yourself off from there and only check the news once every 2 days, 3 days. That's it. And make sure you're strict on that. Number 2 is do a lot of jogging. Yeah, cycling, jogging is very good for the health of your mind. And I'm going to say this: cold showers is very good. Yeah, seriously, cold showers helps you a lot with anxiety, stress, things like that. So try these, inshallah. And if there's anyone else who's got any good tips, put them. Can a woman watch a man convert as in be a witness? Yes. Zainab, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. Is it okay to follow another madhab with regards to the qadha question if your sheikh has an opinion that he gives fatwa on? Possibly. I mean, as long as you trust the sheikh and the person is upright. If there is 2 women or 4 women, can they watch a non-mahram man convert? Yes, they can. Is playing lottery haram? Not what I expected. A lot harder because first time in a new environment, but still did good all day round. And in the exams, inshallah, looking forward to Thaniya. MashaAllah. Well done. May Allah put barakah in your time. Alhamdulillah. May Allah put barakah. The long video shared today on Sayyidina Adam's height, alayhi salam. What is the conclusion of that? I haven't listened to full. Well, you gotta listen to it, innit? You gotta listen to it, bhai. The point is not coming to a conclusion. The point is presenting how the arguments were. That's why I put it onto the Usul Hadith, because you guys have done Usul Hadith with me. So you know how Usul Hadith works. So it makes sense to you guys. So there's no particular conclusion. I would definitely recommend getting Mufti Muntasir Zaman's book, on the height of Adam alayhi salam's whole historical discussion. Is bathing also counted as wudu? Yes. Is a girl who has not undergone puberty, however, she wants to pray Fajr and it's time, but her mother tells her not, as she may be asleep or may not be so well in her studies. Is this valid? If she's not puberty, then it's fine. She doesn't have to. Totally agree. Cold showers are the best. Excellent, Abdul Rahman. Excellent. Do you teach all Nur Anwar? I teach about 2/3 of it. Yeah, 2/3 of it. Do you or any have experience of feeling very unwell, anxious after COVID booster? Yeah, I got really bad ill. I get like when I had my first booster, when I had my first jab, I got ill for 3 or 4 days, knocked out. When I had my second one, I got ill for about 2 days, one day. Yeah. So I did get ill. I haven't taken the booster yet. I don't think I'll take the booster because I don't think it's really needed for anything anymore. Everyone's kind of allowing people to travel as long as they're not showing any signs of illness. Yeah, Allah. You guys like the light in the back over there. Can you see the light there? Blue light. Yeah, unfortunately it's behind me so you guys can't see well. This looks kind of nice. Have you taught Husami? Yes. What's the difference? Husami is like what Kanz is to Hidayah. So Hidayah, imagine Hidayah is like Nur Anwar and Kanz is like Husami. Very brief. What do you call it? Condensed. Doing da'wah to certain type of people can be taxing if you don't have much courage. What to do? You don't have to do it. The thing is, you should train how to do da'wah. Don't just do da'wah because you might even put doubts in your own mind. What level would you say your courses are for Alim class students? Are there for students who have finished Alim class too? It all depends. It all depends. There are some people who actually have completed Alim course and they do some of my courses as well because they maybe they feel they didn't do them properly when they were studying, so they do it over there. Yeah, it all depends. I've got like quite a few now. I think I put up Tirmidhi up. Put up Tirmidhi up. Put up Hidayah. Put up Kuduri as well. Yeah, so it just depends. Depends. You can actually have a look at the videos. The first one is free to look at. Check it out. Check them out. But yeah, I think the thing about graduates is you get 2 levels of graduates. One level of graduates who have studied very, very well, right? And one level of graduates who haven't studied their books very well, who like just kind of like skimmed through everything, right? Just managed to get through all the years. And the second type, they need to go over a lot of their books again. And the first type, they need to start doing research now. So maybe have a project and start reading on that project and develop themselves. That's the thing that scholars have to do. Scholars should always develop themselves as much as they can. Yeah, start reading wider a range of reading books. Is it further for every Muslim to go for Hajj? Yes, if they're able to. Husseini, any plans of having part-time Alimia course so far? Yeah, we do have part-time Alimia course. It's in the evenings. So it's called the Heirs of the Scholars. That's the part-time Alimia course. Zakha, to be more specific, if I come across an ill person, I think, what if it happens to me and get overly, oh, I see. I understand decree of Allah. Yeah, so I mean, again, I don't really know the answer for this. Maybe speak to someone who has experience in this, like maybe a Muslim doctor or a Muslim psychologist, psychiatrist, and they might be able to help you with like a better method of overcoming it. Because a lot of these things, they just require certain steps to take, and it just helps you get through it. Alhamdulillah, Kanz is cool and engages your brain. Yeah, definitely. Is Imam Jassas commonly approved among all sections of the Hanafis? Yes. In Usul, he is the Usul guy. I've noticed, are there any plans to run your intro to iftar course during the day, please? During the day, we were looking into starting an iftar course in the daytime, a more like full-time one. But I don't know. That hasn't really kind of come into fruition yet, because at the moment I'm very busy and I need to get a team on board to be able to deliver that. At the moment, in the daytime, it looks a bit difficult. Is it true that a Muslim must never ever trim or shave their mustache? That's not true. Jazakallah khair. You're welcome. A. Z. Is there anything to help learning inheritance? Yes, my course. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I have an inheritance course. I've done 11 parts so far. I've still got to do some more. Are you joking? Yeah, Rona. Everyone knows Rona. Rona asks all these random, strange questions. Yeah, Asim Hakim Murid. Rona Hakim is Asim Hakim Murid. How do you, if you studied something properly, sometimes you feel like you know and you don't know, and sometimes you feel like you don't know anything, even though you did everything. Yeah, so the best way to test whether you know something properly is open the book and see if you can explain it to someone else. If you can explain to someone else, like the text, what it's saying, then you've understood it properly. How to read Shamal Tirmidhi when it also includes many weak hadith. Yes, so the point of Shamal is not that it has to be authentic, because there's nothing to act upon. It's just historic reports. That's what it is. So we're only strict on usul hadith when it comes to ahkam, halal and haram, fiqh. When it comes to Shamal, it's like Sirah. A lot of narrations in Sirah are weak. They don't stand up to the criteria of usul hadith. You're welcome, Muhammad Zahir. Ahlan wa sahlan. Sharif, assalamu alaikum. Do you have a verse or verses of Arabic poetry you like that lifts your spirits? Yeah, I do have some. A lot of them are mutanabbis. Mutanabbi. Bima ta'allul, that's like one of the poems. Bima ta'allul. And also, wa harra qalbah. That's also a good one as well. Yeah, so he's got like very long poems. Sometimes I just put them on, listen to them. People who read them, and then I kind of like think about those poems. Yeah, definitely. Right, guys. So all your questions have been answered. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. Our book. You guys want a book review, yeah? Okay. Let me give you a book review. Okay, let's just see what book can I get you guys. Okay. Right. So let me show you guys. Book. Yeah, so this is the book. Al-Isnadu min ad-Din. So this is a book written by Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda. Yeah, and Sheikh Abu Fattah Abu Ghudda was a very well-known scholar, Syrian scholar, and he wrote on many topics, and he's got a lot of like footnotes and books. So he's written this book, Al-Isnad min ad-Din, and this book is basically about the importance of having a chain of transmission in our religion, in the science of hadith and in other sciences as well. Yeah, so You can see my notes in there. So this is a very good book that I would. His books are one of the books I would definitely recommend students to read. The Arabic is quite easy to follow, and it's got a lot of good anecdotes in there, and it's got a lot of sort of like tips for reading and books that you can check for furthering your development of certain sciences. Yeah, so this is a good book that he wrote, and he has a really good section here on. So he's got a good section. Let me just on this whole issue of Imam Ibn Sirin's statement. Yeah, لولا الإسناد لقال من شاء ما شاء. He talks about this. So, for example, he said, Abdullah Mubarak said, مثل الذي يطلب الأمر دينه. Example of a person who seeks knowledge of his religion without a chain is like a person who tries to climb a roof without a ladder. Right? It's like literally impossible. Al-isnadu silahul mu'min. Sufyan al-Thawri said, the chain of transmission is like the weapon of a believer. إذا لم يكن معه السلاح, if he doesn't have his weapons, then what is he going to fight with? So these are like statements of scholars about the importance of having a transmission in the religion, and that's why, you know, studying the science of usul hadith is very important. So he's got this very good book. He's also got another book. And next time maybe I'll show you that book. It's called Safahat min Sabr al-Ulama. Yeah, so it's to do with sabr, examples from history of the sabr that scholars had to go through, had to endure because of problems that they faced in their life. So I think that's a very useful book. So, but his books, Sheikh Abdul Fattah Bughudda's books, are very, very good. This was like a very, very good sort of like thing to. He actually, near the end of his life, his son Salman said that near the end of his life, he said, my dad used to actually sleep every other day. Like we sleep every day, don't we? But he got into the habit of sleeping every other day. Yeah, so he would like one night stay all awake, and then the next night just sleep. So it was like in a week, if you're going to sleep 7 days a week, he was sleeping like 4 days a week only. So you imagine a person who's saves that time, can do research, reading, writing. Yeah, so that's why some scholars became really kind of readaholics. Is that if that word is right? They became like readaholics, researchaholics, and they were just like hardcore into their research. So he was one of them. And his books are always an inspiration to me. Like every time I read his books, I always 100% I get inspired. I get inspired to do more. Like I feel as though I'm not doing enough and I want to do more. So it's a good thing to read books of this caliber. Right. Could you explain when shaving or trimming the mustache is permissible? It's always permissible. Shaving and trimming according to Hanafi school is always permissible. Any cycling vlogs coming up? I don't know, the thing is the cycling vlogs, not many people are interested in those. And I don't know. I'll see. If there's people interested, then maybe I'll make some more. Assalamu alaikum Sharif. Iftar, are there section of learning devoted to answering questions? If so, what is the area of studies determined? The section of learning, yeah. So if Iftar basically means answering questions. So in Iftar courses, you learn how to identify a question, and number 2, where to look that question up in the books, and number 3, you learn how to like select the correct answer, and then you learn how to write the answer. So these are the kind of things that you learn in Iftar, and it requires training. Like I got it from my teachers. So I answered questions, research books, and then they correct me, and then I get the idea of how I'm supposed to answer questions. That's what it's about. Apart from teaching, do you have any side business in your locality? Many ulama find the need supplement. No, I don't have any side business. Yeah, I don't have any side business. So, I mean, I obviously do the YouTube videos and some more courses. I sell some more courses. Patreon support the channel as well. So part of that, I get part of that as well. But no, nothing else. I don't really have time for anything else. Yeah, definitely. I don't really have time. And if I did have time, I probably wouldn't even do that. I'd dedicate more of my time to the videos, the YouTube channel, and my reading. I'm interested. Well, maybe because I like cycling, but the vlogs could inspire others. Yeah. If I could get somehow, maybe whilst I cycle, I also speak. And because the moment, the problem is when I do cycling, I can't speak because the wind is blowing in my face. And so the sound, obviously, it becomes disrupted. So you can't hear that. Unless I do like a post dubbing or a dubbing of the audio, then maybe I can do that. That's possible. Mo, hello. What are the colors in Islam that I dislike to? Bro, you asked this question so many times. All right, guys. Anyway, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for uh for your kindness of listening to me all this. Ameen, Ameen. And we give you more barakah. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Anas. Alhamdulillah. May Allah create people that are better than me out there. Alhamdulillah. And allow me to continue doing good as well. Because when you make a dua, I remember once one of our teachers said, if you say, "Oh Allah, make this person better than me," you shouldn't say that, because Allah might make you like your standards low, and that person's standards automatically are raised. So you should always ask Allah, "Oh Allah, make this person better than me, and also allow me to do better as well." Take pit stops. Yeah, talking over the video. Yeah. I think I might do that. I'll see. But the other thing is time, because editing takes a long time. When I make a cycling video, I've got to take out the nice parts of it and then all that. So at the moment, if I can get more, I would say if I can get more Patreon support, then I would definitely full time hire a proper editor. So I don't want to go an editor and he only does like several types of videos for me, and they're like quite short ones. But editors are quite expensive. If I could get like a proper editor, I could just make videos, hand it over to him, and then he could do all the editing, and that saved me so much time. Yeah, so I think that would be the best. That would be the best, easiest thing for me to do. That's my aim. I think the next aim to reach for is to be able to get enough funding so that I can pay editors. I was actually watching the other day I don't know if you watched it, Ali Abdal's one of his videos about. He made a video about what kind of things that can people do to get inspired to get extra earnings. Yeah, and he mentioned one of the things he mentioned in there was, and I really like this idea. He says a lot of YouTube makers, what they do is they have a big problem, which is editors. Like I can 100% agree with that, because first of all, trying to find an editor, then trying to find a good, reasonable price editor, and then trying to find someone that can do what you want, like what's in your head, trying to produce that. So when you're looking for an editor, like an average editor for editing like a 5 to 10 minute video, they're going to charge £100 for it, at least £100, £100 to £150 for it. So you're thinking like, oh, £100, that's like minimum £150. So imagine every week I make 7 videos a week, and I have an editor to do all that. I'm going to be paying about £1,000 a week just to editors, just to edit that kind of video. But if you can get like a good editor, so he said one of the ideas is if people, they go online, they get someone's videos, and they say to the YouTube channel, like, look, this is some of your videos. I've edited them. If you like, I can show you what I can do, and then for this amount of money, I can produce videos for you. So this is also a good way of some people, who are just at home, maybe they don't have any jobs or they've got a lot of spare time, and they're into editing and looking to improve their skills. That might be something as well. Definitely. What's the latest flavored tea you're drinking? This is orange flavor. Orange. Do you know all the other YouTubers use editor for you? Who all the other YouTubers? They use different people. Like the top-notch editors, the high YouTubers like MKBHD. He probably has about 3 or 4 editors, like really good editors he has. And I guarantee Ali Abdal's got editors. Mr. Beast definitely's got editors editing videos. and others get it on like things like Fiverr and other sort of like these kind of places where creative skills people are advertising their skills. They get it from there. So the average video costs about that much. Smile to Jannah, I think he does it himself. I think so. Because I once remember when he came on our podcast, he said he does it himself. Yeah, maybe he does it himself. I'm not sure if he still does it himself. Make dua like Musa made for his brother Harun. Meaning is a good one. That is, I like that. Yeah, definitely. Inshallah. Inshallah, one day I will reach that level where I can hire other editors, and they can do all that. And if that happens, then inshallah, a lot of the stuff that I make, I can spend more time making content. So at the moment, like if you look at it percentage wise, I am probably producing 40% of what I can actually produce. I know I actually know that 40% of what I can actually produce. I'm producing that between 30 to 40, and the reason is because a lot of the other time I'm spending in editing, checking this, that, the sound. Editing my sleepless hours. Yeah, you know how much time it takes, doesn't it? Yeah, it takes a lot of time. And then obviously you got to pay for software and you got to pay for all these other things as well. But Anna Kitab, have you tried bubble tea? No, but I know I'm gonna try it, inshallah. All right, guys. So jazakumullah khair. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button, guys. And as usual, I love talking to you guys. You guys give me inspiration as well. You guys lift my mood as well. So yeah. Are there any good editors on here? Yeah, the other thing about the editors, yeah, is this: the kind of editors I need to be editors for a lot of my videos who know Arabic. That's the thing. So that's why you get good editors, but if they don't know Arabic, they won't know exactly some of the videos of how to put words and things. Is all Zad? No, so Zad is not all uploaded. So on Zad, I only cover, I think it's about maybe, I think it's about 60 hadith, 70 hadith of Zad, not all of them. Jazakallah khair, guys. Take care, inshallah. Thank you very much. So, do you guys like the light like this, or do you like the light like this? Is it dramatic, isn't it? Yeah. Look at that. The light. I'm going to, inshallah, sort my light out, hopefully get my light. So, I'm still aiming at trying to make the light perfect. So, this is good. This looks a bit dramatic, like a bit too much Hollywood, interview kind of style. Yes, I need to get my light sorted, hopefully. This light over here, this is known as the key light. You're supposed to have this over here. Yeah, and then this one is the filler light. And then you're supposed to have one at the back, which is called a hairline light. Puts a light on the back and it kind of makes you distinct from your background. So it gives it more depth. The brighter one, yeah, Harry Potter. The second light is a reminder for Tahajjud. That's it. Yeah, that's it, bro. Look at that. Tahajjud, guys. Tahajjud light. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, see, this light can go really bright. Extremely bright. And then this light can also, it can go dark as well. Yeah, I need to make a video for you guys of how I do my setup. So if any of you guys want to start a setup, you guys know how to do this. And I would definitely encourage, if a person is capable, they have the ability, and they do want to start something good. But the thing about starting any YouTube channel is, number one, you have to have the ability to be able to, you need to have like a skill that you want to teach people. That's the first thing. Number two, you need to have consistency. You need to be very consistent. Right. So a lot of people start YouTube channels, but then they get bored. Right. They'll make 10 videos, 15 videos, they get bored. So you need to be consistent. And then you need to have quality as well. Right. So content, you need to have consistency, and you need to have quality. I should have said 3 C's in it: content, consistency, and quality with a C. Yeah, you need to have all those things. Well, a bright one is the Noor. Noor, Allahu Akbar. That's it, man. That's the Noor coming from my face to all you guys. Murad Ali wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan, brother. Sharif, do you have a good blank verb conjugation chart? No, I don't. I don't have a blank verb conjugation chart, unfortunately. Jazakallah khair, Rona. What do you think is missing on YouTube scene, or do you think it's no? There are loads of things. Think about it this way: what's missing to be sold? Yeah, what's missing to be sold? There's loads of things. It's only when someone comes out with something we think, oh yeah, could have had this. So on YouTube, I think there are lots of things that need to be done. Definitely, especially depending on what you want. And are you talking about it from an Islamic point of view, Islamic sciences? So there's definitely a lot of things. So just like if you just kind of like brainstorm, just Quran, for example, there are a lot of things that you can do, videos. You can dedicate a whole channel just to Quran, right? So for example, like you can have a channel dedicated to Quran where you go through the translation of the Quran, where you go through the tafsir of the Quran, where you select the tafsir and you go through that. You go through tarkib of the Quran, you go through rules of the Quran, you go through vocab of the Quran, you go through, personal sort of like reflections of the Quran. There's so many things you can do just on Quran. So imagine that. That's just Quran, that is. And then there's others, but I'm talking about Islamic point of view. But if you've got other things like you're interested in, maybe I don't know, you're interested in football, you're interested in cycling, you can start different things as well out there. Yeah, inspiration. You gotta look out there, look for inspiration. What kind of things you think out there people would be really? I mean, you get guys who just go to like. There's one guy from Yorkshire. I forgot what his name is. And sometimes I just watch him. He just like kind of. He's quite fat. He's a white guy, and he goes to all these different kind of restaurants, takeaways, and he eats food outside on the table. And he's got a proper thick Yorkshire accent. Quality. I think too deep. I'm looking at the lighting, then I see highlight and I don't see it different from painting, from looking on your screen. Ah, I see you because you're an artist. That's why. So you look at it from an artist point of view. Yeah. Anyway, guys, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video and staying on tonight. I don't want to go, but I have to go. And inshallah, I will see you guys next time. Like people make videos trying different restaurants. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there. What I would say is, look, if you want to make videos to inspire Muslims, like if you want to think about a way to inspire Muslims. Like for example, maybe you want to make videos and you want to go to different mosques just to kind of see how different mosques are. Maybe you want to make videos and interview imams of mosques. Maybe you want to go to mosque and you want to listen to the recitation. You want to go to different madrasas. That's like one thing. Maybe you want to go, maybe make videos on problems youth face. Yeah, you want to make videos on problems of the youth, the kind of like environment they're living in. You want to talk about Muslims and education. Make videos on these kind of things, and then slowly, what happens is you slowly like snowball into all these ideas start coming to you. But you have to, but you have to have an idea. You have to start with a good idea, and then you can take it from there. But remember, content, consistency, and quality. You need to have those three things. Definitely need to have. Cold shower YouTube channel, no viz, just audio. That's a good idea, yeah. Inspiration, yeah. You guys got inspiration from Liaquat Saman. Yeah, in the cold showers. Yeah. Restaurant reviews, Ramadan 30-day, 30 masjids, 30 tarawees. One of my goals across the United States. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, that'd be excellent. I would love to do something like that. Maybe go to the United States, Ramadan, 30 mosques, 30 tarawees, 30 communities, break fast with 30 communities, see how different communities are. That'd be excellent. And I think that's what we need in our communities. We have so much negative news about Muslims. How many of us know about good initiatives Muslims have started in the UK or even in America? How many of us? Very few, I think, isn't it? So I think there needs to be something out there where there's positive documentation of what's happening in the Muslim community, positive things. Yeah, you can go around, you can kind of see how Muslims businesses start. What are the ideas that inspire Muslim businessmen to start a business, entrepreneurs? Yeah, starting a corner shop, starting how to become a taxi driver. What are the benefits of becoming a taxi driver? What are the benefits of running a gym, going to the gym? I think there's lots and lots of good things out there, but because it's like, for example, imagine you have a massive sort of like this window, massive window, right? And all the windows covered up except for a small speck, and all that is one piece of light is coming through that speck, and you just think the world is that. But then when you start peeling away and you see the whole world, it's a nice place. So I think there's a lot of good in the ummah. Definitely, 100%. I agree with Murad Ali, 100%. And we have to get these channels out there to people and show them the goodness. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, like, think about it this way. If I didn't start Roots of Knowledge channel, this was obviously from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but if I didn't start it, how many of you guys would have known me? How many of you guys would have known my style? How many of you guys would have known there's different ways of how certain subjects can be taught? And these are kind of things that you would never be aware of. And just like that, imagine like Smile to Jannah, he didn't produce his. You wouldn't know like what else is there out there that is similar to that. So that's why I personally think there's a lots of opportunity. If you're able to do this, I would say go for it. I don't have the time at the moment to do that. If you're able to do it, and inshallah, if you get if people like your idea, they'll back your idea, they'll fund your idea as well. And everyone obviously needs an income. You get your income sorted, but at the same time, you're providing a good, healthy sort of like a channel for Muslims to see the benefit of Muslims. You can do one maybe just looking at the things that Muslims face in day-to-day. Single mothers, that's a big problem in our society where people don't realize the struggles that single mothers go through. So you can make a documentation on big problems of divorce in Muslim community, problems of drugs in Muslim community, problems of the problems. They need to see the problems as well. Yeah, maybe you can have like reality shows as well where you kind of like just document one individual per series. You go around their life, a mechanic, a school teacher, Muslim school teacher, and the kind of real real life kind of things. I don't know. What do you guys think of these ideas? I personally think they're good ideas, but maybe you guys have a different view on it. Needed, yeah. That must be the most excellent. Love that. Yeah, definitely. Inshallah, that's a good idea. If I come to the US, yeah, get ready. We'll be a group of us. Yeah, inshallah, we'll go from one state to another. Hopefully, we can't do it all because there's 50, how many? 52 states, 51 states. We can't do all of them, but we'll have to do like certain areas. Huntsville Mosque has meet your Muslim neighbors, great community. Yeah, that'd be a good idea as well. Nowadays, people can't watch long videos, so they watch short TikTok. Yeah, I mean, you could break them down to TikTok videos, and then people get inspiration and watch the whole video. But the point is, we should never think to ourselves right? Oh, there's no point doing it. That's where the difference between like people like Elon Musk and between people like someone on the other side of the spectrum who's just sitting on their couch, who could have been an Elon Musk. Yeah, it's like you have to take the step, and you gotta be prepared for risk as well. You might not do it, you might not make it, but you tried. That's the main thing. You tried. All right, guys. So jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for you're gonna stretch. And I will see you guys inshallah next time. And let me know your ideas as well. What kind of ideas? Maybe you guys put some ideas up on here. There's someone who watches this. And then they say, you know what, that's actually a good idea. And they start something and then you get the reward for it. Who knows? Yeah. Think about it that way. 48 states that are connected. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 48 states that are connected. Yeah. So Hawaii, Alaska. Which are the ones? So they're not connected. Wahi al-Qalam. Yeah, Wahi al-Qalam is a good idea. I think it's a very excellent idea. Inshallah, after I finish Malfluti, maybe I'll start Wahi al-Qalam. Because I like Wahi al-Qalam a lot. It's different. It's a bit different from Malfluti. His style is a bit different. Maybe a video how to set up a YouTube channel. Yeah, definitely. That's something I definitely have to show you guys of how I do it anyway. How I set up a YouTube channel. Anyway. Ya Allah. Alright guys, so yeah. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves. Take care, inshallah. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.